All right. Find yourself in the middle of your mat and then completely recline back, either legs outstretched or with bent knees, whatever happens to feel comfortable and supported for you. You might even consider placing something underneath your knees for a little bit of support to help your low back. Give yourself several moments to find a comfortable position. And start to recognize the rhythm of your breath. Taking deep inhales and full exhales. And then imagine that you could send your breath to your extremities, as though you could breathe all the way into your fingertips, all the way down your arms to your wrists, as though you could breathe down through your hips, through your legs, all the way to your toes. Just finding some brightness without moving. And similarly, as you exhale, allowing those areas, any of the muscles that are used to get there, to become softer. So as you inhale, imagine your entire body is receiving that breath, that expansion. On the exhales, releasing that tension. And then also a little bit closer in towards the center of your body. Feel how your rib cage expands. And your back press into the mat, your chest rise up. And then I invite you to set a dedication or intention for this practice. Something that has been serving you lately, or maybe you feel the need to switch gears or simply be present in your breath, allowing this practice to be a moving meditation. We'll take a few breaths together as community to solidify these. Very deep breath in, fill up all the way. Exhale to release that dedication out into the world and let it go. Again, deep breath in. Finding softness through your face, exhale, release. And then once more on your own. Extend your legs out in front of you. Reach your arms up above your head. Take a good morning stretch, reaching through your fingertips. Maybe press through the top of your head, slide your shoulder blades down and find a really firm foundation there. Sometimes this allows you to have a deep stretch across the front of your shoulders. Point your toes, flex your toes, and then take them in opposite directions. So you've got dorsiflexion on one foot and plantar flexion in the other, and then switch it out. Feel the way that your calves press down to your, and then bring both knees into your chest, either hands to your kneecaps or to your shins, and just rock a little bit from side to side, or maybe move your knees in circles, maybe a little bit of both. And then make your heels in line with your knees. So you've got a 90-degree angle. Press your low belly into the mat. So already here, you're starting to have some core activity. Press your hands to your thighs, thighs to hands, and then have that motion against each other. This may make you shake a bit. Flex your toes, so your toes are pulling back towards your shins. And then release, soften. For just 2 breaths, pull your knees in closer towards you, finding a little bit of a hip flexor stretch. And so it might be more comfortable for you pulling your knees more towards your armpits rather than towards your chest. And then we'll take that isometric movement again. Hands to thighs, thighs to hands, press them against each other. Flex your toes, low belly in, heels about in line with your knees. So you've got a 90-degree angle. And then release again. Start to pull your shins in closer to you. And depending on how your body feels in general or this morning, you can either pull your knees towards your chest or more towards your armpits. And then we're going to take utthita, parighasana. So a hand to foot pose here. We're just going to do 2 of the variations. So extend your left leg out, flex through that toe, And then extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. Take your hands to the backs of your thigh, unless you prefer to use a strap, and then you can use a strap. Press your left hip down, your right hip down, so you can feel that your low belly starts to press. Pull your hands against your thigh. Your leg does not have to be straight here at all. Drive up through your right heel. This is also going to help drive your right hip down to the mat. So really a lot of activity here as you use your hands to draw your thigh closer to your chest. Just breathe. Keep driving up through the right heel, even if your knee is bent. Keep pressing your left heel into the mat. And if your knee is bent on your left leg, you're just pressing down your entire foot. Just breathe through it. All right, again, we're not going to do the full series here, so release that leg, but you are going to take your left hand to your right thigh, or using your strap, you're going to drop your leg across your body. Still press through that right heel and the left heel. A little bit of a twist here as well, active legs. And then on an exhale, take the leg back up to center. Bend the knee, extend your right leg out. Feel what the difference between your two legs is like right now. And then pull your left knee in, extend the left leg up. Again, you could always bend the right leg. Interlace fingertips opposite way behind your left thigh, or use your strap once again. Flex through both feet. Use your hands against your left thigh, drop back. You're pressing your right hip down to the mat and your left hip. And a way you can also help the left hip drawing down is pressing up through your left heel. So you've got lots and lots of length here. Continue to gently draw your leg towards you. See if you can make the motions on the exhale. So your inhales, you fill up. Your exhales, find a little bit more space, the tiniest bit more. Soften through the muscles around your eyes. And then we'll take one of the variations, loosen up on your leg. Right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Maybe shift your hips a bit. You're going to drop your leg across your body. Again, flexing through the foot. It's okay to have a bent knee. Left arm out to give you some stability, some balance. Press to the left heel. And then on exhale, take your leg back up to center. Extend both legs out in front of you and just take a moment to acknowledge what your body feels like. Does one leg feel warmer than the other, longer, softer? And then take your hands to the backs of your thighs. We're going to make our way to a seated pose. Always an option to roll over onto one side or to take a massage to your back if it does feel like a massage. You're going to come to a seat. So come to a Sukhasana pose, your choice over what ankle is in front. We're going to take a couple seated twists and we're going to move in through some heart openers. Inhale, reach your arms out and up, send your chin upward. Exhale, twist to the left, right hand to your left thigh, left fingertips behind you. Stay here for one more inhale. And exhale, twist more deeply on the exhale. Inhale, take it back to center, arms lift. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Resistance with your fingertips. Stay here for one more full breath in and out. Inhale, come back up to center. And then on an exhale, take cactus arms here. So bring your palms facing in front of you, and then your elbows like they tap behind you. Send your gaze up. Notice if you're starting to like arc in your low back, pull your ribs in, shrug your shoulders back. So see if you can release your knees down. So ribs in, heart up. It's a slight difference here. Start to bring your elbows like they touch. So your chin is just gently pointed up. Try to take the pose out of the forehead and the eyes. Ribs in, heart up, shoulders back. Ribs in, heart up, shoulders back, and breathe. On your next exhale, drop your hands down to your knees. We'll take seated cow-cat. Inhale, swim your heart forward, send your gaze up. Find that same motion of heart up. Exhale, rock it back. Seated cat pose. Inhale, swim your heart forward again. Shoulder blades come all the way back. Really exaggerate it. Exhale, rock it. One more time. And then shoot it back. Roll over onto your hands and knees. I'm going to take a thread the needle pose. Weight to left palm. Inhale, peel your right fingertips up. Exhale. Thread under so you're onto your right shoulder. Option to stay right here or to find more of an opening here Tiptoe your left fingertips in front of you, pop up on your finger pads, and then maybe even start to walk the hand over toward the right corner of your mat. Inner elbow faces up. Press down through your fingertips. Let your left shoulder blade feel like it's wrapping down and around towards your rib cage, like it's coming down toward the mat. This might mean that your left shoulder drops a bit. That's fine. If you took that extension, tiptoe those fingers back to where you started. Press the left hand, pull your right fingertips up. We're going to stay here for a full breath. Press the left hand, lift up through right fingertips. Exhale, right hand comes down, shift to that palm. Left fingertips come up, deep inhalation. And then exhale, thread left arm underneath. Go onto your left shoulder and perhaps left cheek. Stay here or take a variation that you took on the other side. Remembering to this time, right shoulder blade starts to drip downward. Inner elbow comes up. Press down through finger pads. Simply breathe. And then we start to wiggle that right hand back to where it began. Press through the mat. Inhale. Open arm twist. Stay here. Really open up shoulder blades like they're kissing behind you. Exhale, take your hand down to the mat. We're going to take some cat-cow flow. So shins parallel to each other. Shift your hips back to your heels. Inhale, rise to your knees. Palms lift up. Gaze up towards your thumbs. Exhale, bow. Inhale, keep your heart low. Slither your heart forward for a cow pose. Exhale, press up through cat. Bring your chin towards your chest. Shift your hips back to the modified child's. Once more, inhale, rise to knees. Gaze up, exhale. Bow all the way down, modified child's. Inhale, keep it low for cow pose. Belly is down. Exhale, press up to your cat pose. Tuck your toes, and then press up to your first downward facing dog of this class, maybe of today, maybe of the week. Give yourself a couple breaths here. And then inhale, rise to your toes, come to the top of a plank pose. Check out your distance. You might need to adjust just a bit so that your wrists are below your shoulders. Stay here, build a little bit of heat, wrap your inner elbows forward. Press back through your heels. Start to pull your hips up towards your ribs just a bit, not so you're arcing your back, but just so you've got a very strong foundation. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, puff up your back, bring your chin to your chest, roll it up and back to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg toward the ceiling. Bend your knee, open up through your hips, but keep your right shoulder down. Keep pressing like mad through your left hand. Inhale to re-straighten the right leg. On an exhale, take your knee to your right tricep. Keep your inner elbows reaching forward. Inhale, strike it up toward the ceiling. On an exhale, pull your knee to your chest and place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. We're going to come to an Anjaneyasana, so release your left knee to the mat, and when you're ready, either take your hands to your thigh or arms up toward the ceiling. So if you're looking for that hip flexor stretch, scissor your thighs together, drop your hips down, press through your left toes. If they're untucked, press to the top. If they're tucked, kind of feel like you're flipping the mat away underneath you. If you're on the top of your foot, this is often a little bit more challenging. So up to you where you're at, how your body feels, what your intention is. Keep scissoring your thighs together. So even here, your right hip is drawing back gently, left forward, descend your hips. Come out of that depth just a little bit. Take your right hand to your right hip crease and arc over to the right. Again, finding this deep stretch. If your left elbow is starting to like wave out in front of you, guide it back. Still pull your right thigh back. That's kind of why your right hand is to your hip. Just remember if it starts to shift forward. And then on an exhale, take your hands both down to the mat. Tuck your back toes. Look forward, step your left foot forward. You're at the top of your mat for a forward fold. 3 times, we'll take a halfway lift. Inhale. Look out, press your feet down and away. You'll feel that stretch through your outer hips. Exhale, fold. Again, inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips press against something. Exhale, fold. Last time like that. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, fold. Hands to hips, point your elbows up. Roll your shoulders back for an open heart. Lift your chin up. Inhale, come up to standing. Bring your arms alongside your body. For Tadasana, take 3 breaths here. When you're ready, inhale, send your gaze up. Palms come up. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Swan dive all the way down or take your hands through your heart center. Inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart out. Exhale, fold, offer it back to yourself. Step back to the top of your plank pose. And then on an exhale, lower all the way down to your mat, flat to your belly. We're going to take a backwards breath cobra. Take your arms out, elbows up onto your finger pads. Make sure your toes are untucked. Start with your forehead down. Inhale, low belly in. A little bit of tension to your bum. On an exhale, press the tops of feet and hands. Roll up, head is heavy. Inhale, unravel, backwards breath cobra. Exhale, wave it all the way back down. Twice more like that. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, pressure everything's touching the mat. Rise up, unravel on an inhale. Exhale, surrender. Last time. Bring your hands alongside your body, elbows in towards you. Press up to your hands and knees, and then shift back to a child's pose. We'll be in this child's pose for 2 breaths. After your second exhale, lift up to hands and knees, strike it up and back to downward facing dog. Get comfy here, and then we're gonna change it up. Inhale, left leg comes up and back, bend your knee, open up through your hips, really press down through both hands. Re-straighten the left leg so you're back to that tripod dog. Exhale, take your knee to your left tricep, maybe lift up way high to right toes. Inhale, strike it up again. Lots of distance. Exhale, pull your knee to your nose, place your foot between your hands toward your left thumb. Drop your right knee down. We'll take Anjaneyasana on this side as well. Back toes tucked or untucked. Same activations here. Draw your left heel down and back towards your right knee. Left hip is pulling back. Whatever of your right toes is pressing down to the mat, press down, 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 down. Shoulders away from ears. And wrap your pinkies toward each other. Left hand to left hip crease, over to the left. Draw the right elbow back. If it's starting to creep in front of you, just breathe. Keep pressing down for those back toes, even here. And then on an exhale, place both hands in front of you, framing your front foot. Tuck your back toes to lift up your back knee. Step your right foot forward, forward fold. 3 times, halfway lift, breath in. Offer your heart, reach your shoulder blades back, low belly in, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, take it out again. Exhale, fold. 3rd time like that. Exhale, fold. Take your hands to your hips, point your elbows up, roll your shoulder blades back, chin out. Inhale, come up to standing, press through your feet. Exhale, Tadasana, 3 breaths. Inhale, send your chin up, arms lift. Exhale, swan dive or hands through your heart center, forward fold. Breath in, offer out. Exhale, fold. You're going to step back to your plank pose or float back to a chaturanga. Again, lower all the way down to your mat, onto your belly. You're gonna take backwards breath cobra again. If you'd prefer to take your regular cobra, simply move when you're ready. If you're moving with me, we'll take this 3 times. Elbows up, press your tops of feet. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, start to lift up. Inhale, unravel. Find openness through your chest. Press everything that touches the mat. Exhale, wave it all the way back down. Articulate every curve. Inhale, low belly in, press through feet. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, unfurl. Exhale, surrender. Once more. Exhale, take it all the way back down. Bring your elbows in close to you, hands close to your rib cage, and then press up to hands and knees, and then back to your child's pose. 2 breaths in regular child's pose right here. And inhale, lift up halfway. Take your torso towards your right thigh. Reach your left arm out long. Drop down for 2 more breaths. Stay up on your finger pads, claw at the mat. When you're ready, you lift up, keep it low, and you're gonna cycle around to the other side. Right arm is out long. Claw through the mat, pull your right hip towards your right heel. And then lift up, come back to your hands and your knees. 1 round of cow and cat. And then tuck your toes, press it up to downward facing dog. Bend both knees pretty severely. We're going to take a figure 4 in downward facing dog. So depending on how flexible you feel right now, you might end up taking your right ankle to your left ankle and make a kickstand, or to your shin, or take it all the way up to the top of your left thigh. Any way you choose, you're going to be flexing through your right foot, bringing your right knee down and back. Just breathe. Then release that, place your right foot in the same plane as the left. We'll take other side, bend both knees. Left ankle goes against right ankle, shin, or your thigh. Flexing that foot, left knee draws back. Notice if your right hip creaks forward, just guide it back. And then place the other next to it. You're back to your downward facing dog. Big inhale, big exhale. On your next breath in, right leg comes up and back. Exhale, place your foot between your hands toward your right thumb. Set up your lower body for warrior 2 first. Really drop your right thigh, press the outer edge of your left foot, and then unravel warrior 2, first one of this class. Sit low. Draw your right inner thigh forward and pull in your floating ribs so your torso is right over your hips, not taking a back bend into this. Flip your right palm up, drop your left, take it up and back to an exalted warrior. Exhale, take it immediately back to the warrior 2. Once more like that. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, warrior 2. And we're going to take that extended side angle like we discussed. So reach forward and then take your right forearm to your right thigh or all the way down to the mat. First here, keep your left hand at your left hip and then rotate your left shoulder up. Pull your right rib cage upward, maybe even take your hand to the right ribs. See what that feels like. And then either lift your fingertips straight up to the ceiling or go for extended version and then sweep your arm around, pinky down, reaching toward the front of your mat. Long line between fingertips and your left toes. On your next exhale, press up to your warrior 2. Straighten the front leg. Give yourself just a little bit of relief. And we're going to enter that pose again. So we bend into the front knee. Take your side angle pose or extended side angle. Tuck your right arm down or to your forearm. Option to reach that arm overhead. Nice, Dan. Continue to reach. Look down toward the front foot. Take your left hand down, put it onto the ball of your back foot. Take your right hand to the outside. So you're simply in a low lunge. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, take it all the way down. Keep pressing through your feet. This time, reverse swan dive. Press through your feet as your arm reach out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Standing figure 4. Shift the weight to the left foot. Cross right ankle over left thigh. So same but different orientation. Send your hips back, but without arcing your back. Pull your floating ribs in, and then hinge forward. We'll have an opportunity to do this again. If you already want to start to play with that twist, go for it. But there will be another opportunity. All right, start to stand up, uncross, stand down. Find some blood flow back to the other leg. Find your Tadasana, 3 breaths. And then flow back to downward facing dog. You can take a backwards rough cobra or take a more traditional vinyasa. Move whenever you're ready. Once you're in your downward facing dog, deep breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, left leg comes up and back, create space. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands toward left thumb. Lift up way high on your right toes. Offer your lower body, warrior 2. So angle the right foot down, make your adjustments, check out alignment. And even here, your inner left thigh reaching forward, left hip starting to draw back. Press through both feet and then come into your warrior 2. Sit low. Check out if your floating ribs are jutting out, bring them in. Sit a little bit lower. And then we'll take 2 exalted warrior. Flip your left palm up, arc up, find lots of space on the left side of your body. Exhale, warrior 2. Once more like that. And we'll move to that side angle. So surf forward, really pressing to the outer edge of your right foot. Hand comes down towards your mat or block or forearm to your thigh. Again, right hand, start first with your hand at your hip, or maybe your right hand towards your left rib cage, and see if you can turn it upward. Engage your core here. You'll find that if you pull your belly button towards your spine, not like you're sucking in, just like you're creating some strength there. Start to wrap your right shoulder on top of the left, and then do what you like with your right hand again. Keep it where it is, extend your hand up toward the ceiling, or swoop it around, avoiding that splice on your shoulder. Press through your feet. You've got this. All right, on an exhale, press up to warrior two, re-straighten the left leg. Give yourself a breather. And then we're gonna re-enter that pose once again. Bend into your left knee. Left hand comes down to where it comes. Maybe take the right hand first. Manipulate your rib cage, see what that feels like, and then see if you can keep that. And take your arm variation as you'd like, either straight up toward the ceiling, keeping it towards your hips, or reaching it above you, right bicep coming over your right ear. Then look down to your left toes, pivot onto the ball of your back foot, take both hands down to the mat, framing the front foot. With a little bit of strength, shift forward, step your right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Press through your feet, take your arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, hands to your heart center. We'll take the standing figure four once again. Shift the weight to the right leg, cross the left ankle over right thigh. Shift your hips back. If you've got the arc in your back, knit it in. Find that tadasana in your spine as you hinge forward. Again, if you're eager to play with that twist, go for it. I'll be offering it again in a bit. All right, then start to stand up. Stand down. Find a little bit more space with the right leg. Come to your tadasana. 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, take your flow back to downward facing dog, any way that you would like to get there. Once in your downward facing dog, take a very full breath in and release it. And if you need another, take another. Inhale, right leg comes up and back. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands toward right thumb. Set up your lower body for warrior two. And then unravel, land on top of that warrior two. Flip your right palm up 2 times. Take that exalted warrior. Inhale takes you up and back. Exhale, return. Always an option to skip one or both of these. And then take all that space you just were creating, extended side angle or side angle, your choice of what you'd like your left hand to be. This time, return back to the warrior two. Sweep your left arm towards the front of the room so you're in a high crescent lunge. Hands to your heart. Shift your weight forward so you've got a long line. Inhale, lengthen even more. Right hip draws back. This is familiar. Exhale, twist to the left so your left elbow comes to the outside of your right thigh. Keep your right hand to your hip or press your palms together in a prayer twist, that is. You could also take your left knee down and make it a low prayer twist. Look towards your right foot. Find a little bit of momentum. You're going to step your left toe next to your right big toe. Might take a couple steps to get there. You're in a revolved chair. Inhale, take it up to regular utthita, arms lift. Exhale, twist to the other side. Chair twist, opposite. Pull your right knee back so it's in line with the left. Come back to regular utthita, arms lift. Exhale, come up standing. Hands to heart center. Separate your feet. And we're going to take that figure four pose once again. Left foot is your stabilizing foot, cross to right ankle, over. And so this time, you can stay where we are, doing what we've done before, or take your left hand to your left hip, start to reach your right elbow towards the sole of your right foot. And then press foot to hand to foot. Again, this is a prep for grasshopper pose. We're not taking that in this class, but this will start to get you there. You can keep your left hand here or press your hands together. All right, we're gonna start to unwind. Untwist yourself. Stand down. Step it out. Come back to Tadasana. 3 breaths. When you're ready, inhale, send your chin up, send your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, lift out halfway. Offer yourself. Exhale, fold to honor yourself. Step back to top of plank pose. You can press up to downward facing dog or exhale, lower to or toward the mat. Untuck your toes for a cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Settle back into your body. Allow yourself a moment to observe. And then as you're ready on your inhale, left leg comes up. Exhale, place it between your hands. Set up for warrior 2 in your lower body. And then unravel, finish out the posture. Look out beyond your left middle finger. If you would like 2 times, take an exalted warrior. And then we move to a side angle or extended side angle again. This is your choice what you'd like to do with your arm, whether you'd like to take it to your rib cage and focus on this alignment, or take one of the other options, arms straight up or reaching beyond you. All right, press through your feet, come back to warrior 2 on an exhale. And then you're going to swivel towards the front of the room for a high crescent lunge. Bring your hands to your heart center, lean forward, really feel like you could launch out, breathe in, and then on an exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow to the outside of your thigh, always an option to take knee on a mat, option to keep left hand to hip or press palms together. Keep spiking up to the back knee. Just breathe. Find an open heart even here in this compressed state. All right, look down to your left toe. A little momentum, you're gonna step your right big toe next to your left big toe. Chair twist. Inhale, come to center, or traditional utthita. Exhale, Parita, switch to the right. Pull your left knee back. Inhale, come back to center, look up. Exhale to stand. Hands back to your heart. Arms alongside your body, and then we're going to take that figure 4 again. Shift the weight to the right foot, cross the left ankle over right thigh. Hands to heart, start to shift forward. Also an option simply to take your hands to your hips. And then like we did on the other side, you can either stay right here, or if you want to start to work a little bit more into those twists, lengthen out, twist so that your left elbow is to the inside of your left foot, and either take your right hand to your hip, or you can press your hands to each other and start to take that same action where you're stacking right shoulder over left. And then when you're ready, unravel, stand down, shake it out, come to your Tadasana. 3 breaths here. Inhale, chin up, arms up. Exhale, dive forward. Breath in, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Step back to parighasana. And then back to Ardha Mukha Svanasana, or flow through VINYASA as you like. Once you're in your downward facing dog, give yourself at least 3 full rounds of breath. And then find your way into a child's pose or another restful posture. Clear your head. If other thoughts beyond your dedication, this practice show up, that's okay. Acknowledge it and let it move on. Give yourself the next 5 rounds of breath, whatever you'd like, whether it is to work on another posture, rest, take water, do whatever you need to do. We will meet in downward facing dog. We'll take the same sequence. We're going to add on to it a little bit. Your first of 5 breaths begins now. But now you might be finishing up your 5th exhale. Start to make your way back to downward facing dog. Of course, if you're in another posture still, take your time getting out of it. So now that you're familiar with the sequence, we've already done it in its own iteration, kind of twice through. It's going to change up just again. So if you ever want to move ahead or behind, you know where we're going. This is your practice. Allow this to be your dance. Allow this to be what you need. On an inhale, right leg extends, create space, lift up onto your left toes. Exhale, place your foot between your hands. Set up for warrior 2, and then make your way there the way that is best for you. Sit low. If you would like, 2 times exalted warrior. Inhale, extend. Exhale, descends. And then find your side angle or extended side angle. So many different options for your hands. Just breathe. Wrap your right rib cage up. Press through the back foot. And from here, we're going to transition into that half moon pose. So look beyond your right foot. You might want to pivot onto your left toes a bit. Shift forward. Right hand comes down to a block or to the mat, or maybe just you float. Left leg lifts up. And then same thing when we were doing the extended side angle. Left hand to your hip, rib cage to help open up towards the ceiling, or take that extension, unless you've got a wall right in front of you, like we did an extended side angle. Press through the standing leg. Both legs have equal activity through them. Just breathe. When you fall out of it, just come right back in. And then, super fun, we're going to float back to the warrior 2 from here. So bend through your right knee, reach back with your left leg. The more you bend your right knee, the closer you'll be to the ground. And then pivot up. Nice. Sweep your left arm towards the front of the room, coming to a high crescent lunge, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. Bring your hands back down to your heart center. Shift your weight forward. Right hip draws back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Maybe palms together, or you've got your right hand to your right hip. Breathe here. Right shoulder is coming up top of your left. Look down to the left toes. Step your left foot forward. Chair twist. Inhale, utthita, regular twist. Come to front. Exhale, twist to the left. Revolve chair. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, come up to standing, hands to heart. Arms alongside your body. Separate your feet. And then we'll take standing figure 4. Cross right ankle over left thigh. Hands to heart or to hips. Shift it back. Stay here or work towards grasshopper prep. Twisting at your belly. Again, right elbow to the outside of the foot, the sole of your foot. Breathe. Press elbow into foot. Foot into your arm. All right, unravel, come up to standing. Stand down, shake it out. Find your stillness. Notice how much time it takes to find that place of stillness. Similarly to when our mind wanders, how long does it take? Just observe. 3 breaths here. In your Tadasana or Samastiti. And then with eyes open or closed, chin up, arms lift. Exhale, Forward fold. Inhale, offer your heart. Exhale, fold back. Transition back to your downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa or skip. Deep inhale. Strong exhale. Inhale, left leg comes up, lift up to your right toes, even more distance. Exhale, place the foot between the hands. Take your warrior two. Stay here or twice, exalted warrior back to warrior two. Okay, extended side angle. Tick-tock down, lots of length in the left side of your body as you just created. Right hand to hip, rib cage, reaching up toward the ceiling or reaching beyond you. Just breathe. Continue to hook your left hip underneath you. Press, if you've got your hand to the mat, you're pressing your thigh to your hand, or to your arm rather, and your arm into your thigh. Allow this to create more stability. Okay, from here, we're going to take that half moon pose. So perhaps you come back up to your warrior two, pivot onto your toes, start to point your right knee forward a bit. This is going to help reach your left arm beyond. It's going to be out maybe like a foot beyond your left pinky toe, depends on your height. Right leg will lift up your right fingertips, or take one of the other options for your hand that you did in your extended side angle, either reaching beyond or using that hand to rotate your rib cage up. Lots of activity through both legs, through your right toes. Find expansion through your breath. Can you get taller here? And then as you're ready, bend through the front knee, reach the right leg back, make it all the way back to your warrior two. Sweep your right arm toward the front of the room, high crescent lunge. And then take your hands to your heart center, lean forward, breath in, lengthen, exhale, twist. Options for your left hand, hip, ribcage, palms together. Just take a look down to your left toes. Step your right big toe to meet your left big toe, little space between your heels for your chair twist. Inhale to center, utthita lift. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Draw your left kneecap back just a bit. Pull your right hip back if it's starting to curve forward. Inhale back to utthita, arms lift. Exhale, come up to standing, hands to heart. Separate your feet, and then we're going to take figure four. Cross the left ankle over, right thigh. And then stay right here, or start to work towards that grasshopper prep. Twist at your belly, open-hearted. Upper arm, elbow to the sole of your foot. Draw it back, maybe palms together. If you fall out, just come back in. It's just yoga. And then begin to unravel, untwist. Stand down. Come to the top of your mat once again in Samasthiti or Tadasana. Here, take 3 breaths. With your eyes opened or closed, inhale, send your chin up, send your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, offer your heart. Exhale, honor yourself. Step back to a plank pose and flow through vinyasa if you choose, or skip it and just press to downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a very deep breath in and a very full exhale. Lift to your toes, roll to the top of a plank pose, and then come down to your forearms. We are going to move to a dolphin pose, so keeping your forearms parallel to each other or interlacing your fingertips. Start to walk your feet in close to you so that your hips start to hike up. Really press down through your forearms. And then you can walk in a little bit closer perhaps. Maybe a little bit closer. Maybe a little bit closer. Keep pressing down through your hands. And then walk your legs right back out. Drop your knees to your mat. And either press back to sit on your knees in Vajrasana or take a child's pose. Give yourself the next 2 breaths to transition back to downward facing dog. If there's anything else you need this time, please take it. From your downward facing dog, inhale, right leg comes up toward the ceiling. On an exhale, take your knee to your right wrist. We're going to come to a pigeon pose. Start to bring your left ankle more in line with your left wrist. It does not mean it has to be behind it, like not directly. For me, it's like 8-10 inches. Walk your left leg back a bit. Take a look towards your left foot. Notice if your heel has a tendency to wander out to the side. It happens. And then take your hands alongside your body. Maybe you support them by pressing into the mat, or maybe hover up. Bring your shoulder blades back, finding an open heart here. If you would like, lift your arms up toward the ceiling, maybe palms even press. And then as you're ready, come to your pigeon pose, taking your hands down toward the mat. Using your props that you need, maybe supporting your right hip. And come to your posture, coming forward, arms out in front of you, or you could even take your hands as pillow to your forehead. You could stay right here if you'd like to have some twist as we were having earlier in this class. Lift up about halfway. And you're going to throw the needle, left arm comes underneath you. Left side of head rather comes into the mat. Lift up your right fingertips, twist at your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist, and then drop your hand behind you. You might just have your hand behind your back, or you might search for your big toes, and then take a bind. If you've taken the bind option, release the bind and unravel, coming back to a pigeon pose where you are squared up. We're all going to push up and then drop your hip over to the right. And you're going to swing your left leg out to the front so your right knee is still bent. We'll set it for a Janu Sirsasana here. Left leg out, right foot to left thigh. Pivot your torso to the left leg. Inhale to find extension through your arms, and on an exhale, reach for your thigh, calf, or shin, or ankle, or foot. Make sure that you've created, like scooched your thigh stuff to the side, and then come forward. Even here, you're pressing your right knee down and back. You might find a deeper stretch through your back here. Inhale to lift up halfway, and then exhale to break the pose. Right hand behind you, fingertips pointing away. Sweep your left arm around, come up onto your right shin, left foot. Stargazer pose. Lift up through your heart center. Press down through your left toes. As long as you can be. And then on an exhale, cycle all the way back down. Hips come down, come forward. Roll over onto your hands and knees. Take a cow and cat. And then press back up to your downward facing dog once again. Acknowledge the quality of your thoughts. And then inhale, left leg comes up, Exhale, take your knee to your left wrist, setting up for pigeon on the opposite side. Dropping the left heel behind the right wrist. Walk the right leg back, 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 back. Send the gaze over your right shoulder towards your foot. All right, and then start to walk your hands alongside your hips. Maybe hover your hands, perhaps lift your arms up toward the ceiling. Keep pressing through everything that's touching the mat. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, you're gonna come forward to your pigeon pose. If you took the twisted variation on the first side, I invite you to take that now. Press up about halfway. Slide your right arm underneath you, palm up. Come onto the right side of your face. Left arm reaches up toward the ceiling, twist it. Shoulder, elbow, wrist. Drop your hand. Maybe find your toe. If you took that twisted variation, begin to release the bind you've got. Lift up halfway to come back with shoulders square towards your hips. And we'll all start to press up. Shift your weight over to the left hip. As we move toward chandrasana, bring your right leg out toward the front. Hands to your thighs. Start to move away the flesh from your bum. Inhale to lift up. Twist toward the right leg and let your arms drop. And then deepen your posture on the next exhale. Press your left knee down and back. Lift up halfway and then inhale, and on an exhale, break your pose. Left hand behind you, fingertips away. Stargazer, sweep your right arm around, come onto left shin, right toes. Even wrap your inner elbow toward the back of your mat in the same direction that your head is pointing. Press through the hand, lift up. Allow that to support your heart opening. And then when you're ready, cycle all the way back down, dropping your hips. Swing around. Bend both knees, place your feet into the mat. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Lift up your shins so your heels are in line with your knees. And if you'd like, bring your arms out in front of you, palms up, staying here. And then slowly, slowly, slowly extend your heels out in front of you as you lower your back. Eventually coming all the way down onto your mat. Release. Bend your knees once again and place your feet in towards you. Setting up for a bridge flow. If you'd like to take a traditional bridge here and you prefer some more static opposed to dynamism in your practice today, then please move to a traditional bridge. The setup is the same. Fingertips barely grazing the backs of your heels, knees, and hips on the same line. So if you're taking traditional bridge, please move when you're ready. Those of you who'll be practicing with me and taking a flow, inhale, lift up your hips, take your arms up and back. Backs of hands touch the mat, lift up through your heels, a little bit of tension to your bum, so you can draw your tailbone towards your heels, or the backs of your knees rather. And then on an exhale, wave it all the way down. Hands touch, heels touch. Again, lift up your hips, wave it up and back. Press through your backs of hands and your shoulder blades, lift up your heels. Reach your tailbone towards the backs of your knees. Exhale, wave it all the way back down, articulating every curve. Tap your heels and your hands. Once again, inhale, lift up your hips. Roll it back. Tuck your heels. Exhale, wind it all the way back there. If you're in a traditional bridge, please start to come all the way down. Separate your feet slightly so that your feet are still parallel to the edges of your mat, maybe closer to the edges. Drop both knees over to the right. Send knees up, drop both knees up to the left. Bring both knees up to center. Heel toe your feet back so your feet are in line with your hips. Pull your right knee in, extend your left leg out, supine twist, draw your right knee across your body, just as you need. And then perhaps in your gaze towards your right hand. On an exhale, take your head and your back to center, extend right leg out, pull left knee in. Same but different, twist to the opposite side. On an exhale, take your head and your back to center. Realign your hips. And they're going to take a supported shoulder stand. If you've got a block, you can use that. You'll set up like you're sitting up a bridge with bent knees. You'll hop the block on the first or second height underneath your sacrum, so your bone's kind of hanging off. Or if you're not using a block, you'll set up the same way. And then extend your feet up toward the ceiling. For this one, don't worry about your legs being straight. It's okay if they're bent. Arms alongside your body or further out for balance. Or if you feel supported, you can take your hands to your chest, to your belly. One hand to each. As you're ready, slowly, slowly begin to bend your knees, let your feet drop down to the mat. The next pose is a final posture of this class, which is Shavasana. So start to move your body, coming flat onto your mat or another posture that suits you. Perhaps the same way that you began the class if you had your knees bent. Or if there's another posture that's going to be best for you for Shavasana. Begin the process of letting go, softening the muscles in your body and loosening on your thoughts. Let everything become still. Imagine that you could breathe the breath all the way down into your toes without moving your muscles. Start to notice sensation through your toes, then send that same energy through your fingertips, the crown of your head. And then with the dedication that you set, start to find some movement. Deeper breath as your belly rises and falls. Large movements through your wrists, ankles. And then as you're ready, move to your right side, pause for several moments, and then with your eyes closed as best you can, make your way to a seated posture for a very brief reflection and meditation. Bring your palms to your heart center. Press your thumbs towards your sternum. Breathe your heart up to your thumbs. And then slide your shoulders back, allowing your heart to rise up even more. On an inhale, take your arms out and up. On an exhale, take your thumbs to space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought. To your lips for clarity of speech. To your heart, once again, for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart. Symbol of honor, of humility, and of gratitude. I am eternally grateful for you. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. May we all find peace and move forward with an open heart. In the name of the highest good, namaste.